Hey guys, welcome to today's episode where I'm going to be taking you through the main challenges that men face today and also applicable ways how you can overcome them. My name is Daniel Müller, and I have been helping men for the last 11 years, but specifically in Seoul. I'm the co-founder and head trainer there. We've been taking 150 men through our personal development and leadership programs. And I want to share here with you the things that we've learned so you can apply them to your life. Let's get started then. So one of the biggest problems that men face today is that they don't map their life. I'm going to explain to you what it means in a moment, but what it really shows out as is that you don't have the focus and the clarity to take massive actions on the things that really matter in your life. And so mapping is just you defining the territory. So in this case, the territory is your life. So if you take a pen and paper and you mark it out and you write everything in that is a part of your life and that you would like to have as a part of your life, you are doing mapping. The territory would be you are right now on X, this is where I'm at, and then you do another X, this is where I want to go. And then you're going to find a way how to get there. And I don't see enough men doing this in their own lives. And through that, they just course around without real aims or goals that are relevant. And the main ones that we're finding here very often, the success that is being promised to us by society is very often one that is one-sided. So we chase money, we chase status, we want them, the family, the kids, all of those, and that's part of a successful life. But it's really not enough. We very often let out our soul's desires and our soul's wish. We become a version of ourselves that is performing. And we're performing this facade, this mask, and we become that mask and that facade. And by that, we lose our true authenticity and what we really want to stand for. The way that shows up in your life might be that you're chasing pleasure. You go over and over into avoidance. So avoidance is avoiding the things that you have to do, but you don't want to do because you feel a certain way about it. And so-called negative emotions. No emotion is actually negative, but we experience them as unpleasant. And so the things we're supposed to do, we avoid them, and then they grow. Imagine living in a house where you clean up certain rooms and others just get more and more dirty and they have fungus and mold inside, and you're just letting them succumb because you really don't want to clean them up. And that shows up then in avoidant behavior, where we drink, we party, we chase addictions, anything from porn, sugar, food, you just name it. You can abuse anything in the world today. And by that, we're trying to fill the hole that we have inside with outer things. And this leaves us hollow and empty over time. I can just sing a song about that. I had about 10 years of chasing pleasures. And it was because I was running away from myself and I had no purpose, no real purpose in life. And so even with my partial successes, I felt like I was losing in life, ultimately. Because there's a part in every man where we want to master life. We want to become the masters, not the monsters, but the masters of our inner and outer world. And there's a big difference between the inner and outer world. So there's the outer world, all the things that we can touch and everything that we can explore outside of us. And then there's the depth and richness of our inner world. And this depth and richness of our inner world is compartmentalized in a map that we can use right now, which is called the four corners of intelligence. So we have the physical intelligence, the signals and sensations that our body send us all the time. It's an endless stream of information, and it is a crucial part of our intelligence that a lot of men have forgotten because they live mostly in their mental intelligence, which is our second corner. So the mental intelligence is logic, it's the thinking mind, it's the ego, it's the way that we perceive ourselves. And I want to bring in short here, the ego is nothing bad if it is well constructed and we understand what it is and what it's not. The third corner of intelligence is our emotional intelligence. It is the energy moving through the body that speaks in the language of sensations, but is not only the usual heart pumping, breathing, and all of the functionalities that keep us actually alive. Something stirs in us and we can feel these emotions in different body parts. For example, when I notice anger inside of me, it's usually around my solar plexus. Gets tight, feels fiery, and then shows also in my ears. And so do all other emotions also have a place that lives in the body. Our fourth corner of intelligence is the spiritual, energetic connection that we have. This is an important element for every man to connect to, something higher than ourselves, beyond the body, beyond the inner and outer world. There is more. And I'm not talking about spirituality as people sitting around meditating and doing nothing with their life or avoiding life. Spirituality is really you manifesting your highest dreams and visions aligned with your values with that life and bringing it into the physical realm. A lot of men are one-sided. They are usually all into logic and the mindset is everything. And yes, mindset is a lot, but it's not everything. Because if your body is not healthy, you don't have much at all. And if you're disconnected from your emotional world, your life is rather flat. And if you don't have connection to something higher than yourself, and we're not talking about religion here, we're literally just talking about higher frequencies of consciousness like peace and love and understanding and the logic of the universe that goes beyond human logic, which is right now resembled in the four corners of intelligence if we unite them. Some have 2 or 3 of them installed. Some have a great body. They took good care of the physicality. They listen to their intuition. They have the ability to notice how they feel about things emotionally. And they have trained their minds to not be a horrible judge all the time, which are side effects of not training these aspects of intelligence. But they think they're just a human being and that's all. And that the world around them is dead. Lifeless pieces. And like I'm talking now about nature, disconnection of nature, for example. So the problem with leaving out any of these corners of intelligence is that you will find yourself limited. Imagine if we just cut up my body into 4 pieces right now, and 1/4 is missing, or half is missing, or 3/4 is missing. You're just not a whole human being. And trying to navigate life without a piece of your intelligence is a very, very difficult factor. This is also where it ties back to avoidance before. Because one part of us is not being acknowledged, because one part of us is not being integrated into the way that we are living, we notice an absence and an emptiness. And that emptiness we then fill with behaviors that are damaging. These damaging behaviors, anything from, as I just mentioned, alcohol, drugs, and meaningless sex, pleasures, are all there to just mask the pain inside. All addiction is really just serving one purpose, which is to not feel the pain. To be able to face the pain inside is a choice you have to make. You have to want to know the parts that are missing. You want to have to explore. And a map can really help with this. The first step that I recommend everyone does is to take a big piece of paper or a Miro board or somewhere where you can write down everything that's on your mind. Everything that's going through your being. You write down, you type it, you write it, and then you start categorizing it. This here belongs into the relationship sector. You can break that down then, you can put that into your family, friends, co-workers. And so you break it down more and more. You're mapping the territory. For your body, these are my goals. These are my fitness goals. This is who I would like to be. This is the man who loves going into being a healthy, driven, energetic human being. And these are the things that I have to accomplish for that. Your mind, for example, should be your ally, should be your loyal servant, not the master. Because the mind just generates thoughts all the time unless you train it. I like saying that the mind is like a dog. Either you have a dog that goes around and attacks things and is wild and pees and poops everywhere and it's chaos. Or you have a well-trained dog, good German Shepherd dog. You call it, whistles, sits down. When you let it free, it can play and have fun with a stick or whatever it wants to play with. But when you say it's quiet, it goes quiet. Because you're the master, not the mind. Very often that shows that the mind is really a harsh critic that very often could resemble caretakers in our life from the past, where we integrated lies. I'm not enough. I can't love myself. I'm not lovable. All of those lies that someone might have implanted in us because they haven't had the connection to themselves. So these harsh critics become voices in our head, and we talk that way to ourselves. Something you can try is, what would happen if you imagine the way you talk to yourself, you would be talking to your best friend? Would they still be friends with you? That's one big piece to work on immediately. Because if your inner self-talk is not one of your biggest supporter and your best friend, and your best friend wouldn't stay around if you talk that way, how you talk in your own mind, then there's work to be done. If that is not cleared out, one way of showing that itself that way is because you're lonely. You cannot be alone. You need people around you all the time, or you need some form of distraction. You need your phone all the time. You need movies and series and something, because you can't sit down, because you feel lonely in yourself, because you can't stand being with yourself. The aim here is that you find solitude. You're alone, but you love your company. And for that, you have to get to know yourself, which all ties back together. Self-mastery is the key word here that we're talking about. And the wish to master all of your areas of life. The four corners of intelligence is really where it starts. Physicality is, I think, the easiest one. We can all acknowledge there's a body. You need to go sure that your body gets what it needs, the basic pieces that come into play. Because when your health is gone, nothing else matters. And so that one should just be a foundation that is a non-negotiable piece. So map for yourself where you're at and write down what your body needs to function well. We all already know it's go sure that you put into the body what it needs. Go sure that you take care of getting out the things that need to get out. Sleep the right amount of time, and go sure that you move as much as possible. Sedentary lifestyle is a killer. And then getting all of those things in order in a way that supports your lifestyle, and you can grow continuously further. So that one's easy, right? So everyone can follow me on that one. The one with emotions is a more tricky one, specifically for men, because men actually have more brain cells associated for feeling emotions than actually women do. This is newest research. But they also have more brain cells there for controlling these emotions. So imagine men have a better switch for turning off and on these emotions, or I would rather call it a volume knob. And the problem is, if you want to turn down the volume on sadness or pain or the uncomfortable emotions, you turn down the volume knob on all emotions. So a typical problem that we see is a lot of men being able to only feel partial emotions. They have suppressed their anger, they have suppressed their sadness, they have suppressed so many things. And with it, they suppress their joy, their peace, and their happiness as well. So here we need to go back into doing the one thing that makes us feel again, which is stop translating your emotions through your mind. Our true first language never was words. When you came out from your mom, you knew how to speak through body and emotions. That was the main thing. All the sounds that you made, all the way you moved was always depicting how you felt and what is happening in your body. So our true mother tongue is feeling and sensing. Now, what happened then when we got logic and words, and logic and words is amazing, I love it. But it also, we cannot translate emotions into, oh, that's why I'm feeling this, and this is why I'm feeling it. So that just explains why I don't have to feel. I already know where it comes from, so I don't have to feel it. Because often we're scared to feel what is happening in the body. And also the consequences of us not being able to handle that emotion eventually, or being in a safe place to actually feel. The way for that, again, is to actually stop translating in the mind and just go into the body and feel the sensations that is there. No explanation needed. And when the emotions are felt all the way, these emotions will change because it is energy in motion, and they only get stuck when they are not felt. Your emotions, you can see them as little children that want to get attention. And what happens if you don't give these children attention? They grow louder, start screaming, start kicking. If you keep on ignoring them, they start creating a lot of chaos. They start throwing things, breaking things, and then they go quiet. But deep down inside, they're still there, needing your attention and your love and everything that you have to give them. And when you bring these children home, these different emotions, these frequencies inside of you, you will find yourself as a whole human being being able to express them, being able to act and respond to them in a way that is healthy. And I know when I couldn't handle my anger or just suppressed it over time, it shows up in other ways and it comes pouring out. And this is not the way for us. For us men, it is so important that we have the connection to that energy because it is really life force that we're suppressing here. The mind is one of my favorite ones to work with because it's the dominant factor in the male because we're future-oriented beings. In comparison to, I'm generalizing right now, but in comparison to women, women want to be in the present moment because they facilitate. They facilitate meaning they want to go sure that everyone is good right now. They want to be in the moment. And men have the same ability to be present and be in the moment, but we also calculate into the future because we need to usually calculate dangers, the direction, the vision, the future. And women have that ability too, but it's way more prone in men. When I see men and women in their thriving energies, the man is in the vision and leading, and the woman is in the moment enjoying all that there is. A simple way of putting it to just line out the whole process is when a woman is with her man, she feels safe because there's someone protecting. So she's just in the moment, enjoying the whole walk and having a good time. And the man is walking around like calculating, oh, that one I can take down. Okay, no problem here. Okay, we're going to see here. If that man falls and he's gone through an attack, that's when the woman starts worrying and thinking about the future. So these are just like layers of the psyche that a lot of people are not aware of. I wasn't aware of either in the beginning. And if we know that men are constantly checking for dangers and opportunities to make life better for the future, that is all we're talking about with vision and leadership. So through that process now, our mind is calculating. And we need to train the mind to be able to be in the future oriented or in the past oriented or in the present moment. Like specifically just play is so powerful for that. Playing again, not taking life so serious. Playing with your kid requires you to be present. You cannot be thinking about all the future steps and everything you have to do on your to-do list. And you cannot be wallowing in memories of the past because if not, you cannot play. And without presence, there is no play. Knowing how to bring your mind and your being into the present moment is an essential piece for life mastery. And anyone who cannot do that at will has to practice and get this in. And you can practice it simply by noticing what is happening inside of your body. This is how the four corners of intelligence are interactive and interconnected. So you can use your breath or the position of your body in space. You can slow the fuck down. Take a few nice deep breaths. Notice your thoughts. Watch them. Don't run after them all the time. Notice that thoughts, they pop up. It's like a radio signal that is running, but you can also change the frequency of the radio station to what you would like it to be. So you can direct your focus and attention. And wherever your focus and attention goes, your energy, your time will go. And those are your resources in this game of life. As a human being, your energy, your time, and your attention directs the energy to where it goes. You also have other resources, but staying now with the mind, here, that's the first step. You train it to be here, to direct it to the moment, to whatever is inside of you or around you. And then my recommendation for the ones who have a lot of critical thoughts inside is a very simple one too. For every inner critic you have, I want you to have 10 cheerleaders who are inside of your mind as well, cheering you on, telling you the things that you're good at and why you can do it. So if there's the inner critic, like mine was always like, you can't do that, you're not smart enough, you're not good enough, who are you to think that you should be standing in front of people and helping them? You're nothing. All kind of horrible things going up on there. And then I would imagine a band of cheerleaders. You can choose what gender they have. And then I would just have like them going around with like, "Oh, Daniel, you can do this. You've done way worse things already, harder things before. And look, these are all the reasons why you're going to succeed." And having that in your mind, and you can listen to, some people are like, "Oh, it's good to worry and to doubt and to have fear." And it's like, yeah, it all has its place. But worry, doubt, and fear are the thieves and liars who take your joy and your energy. Just try it out. When you're in a really problematic situation, try to worry yourself out of the situation and tell me how good that went. Or try to fear yourself out of the situation. Although fear can be a powerful driving force to get action done. If you use it in that way, every now and then I use fear as a drive as well. One of my biggest drivers is, for example, the fear of not living a fulfilled life and dying with regrets. That one pushes me into action every day. But this is not what I'm talking about. Living in fear where you don't take action is the issue. Inaction is also an action that will cost. So if you get your mind here as your good dog, yeah, he is very, very happy. You feed him every now and then. So you're always learning, you're always educating yourself, and you're going sure that you have a flexible ego that is open for receiving information and wisdom and truth out of many different sorts, because it understood that there's truth has many angles depending on the context. And you are an ever-changing being. So if you don't upgrade your system every now and then, your mainframe, you're going to be stuck in an outdated system. Imagine you have the newest computer, amazing hardware, but you're still running like Windows 2000. Like, what is that? And a lot of us have not upgraded and updated their ego system, which needs to be upgraded and updated regularly, because you might not be the same person you were just yesterday or 6 months ago. And the coolest thing that I found is that you have no obligation whatsoever to be the same person you were 5 minutes ago. None. You have no obligation whatsoever to be the same person you were 5 minutes ago. You can change and shift immediately. This is one of the big cues that help the majority of men around when I just tell them change doesn't take long. It doesn't take long. Oh, this is going to be a long one. oh, this is going to be so long to change. And I say, no, change happens now, in this moment. You choose differently, and then you act accordingly. It doesn't matter your trauma, it doesn't matter your past. If you change the story and you change the behavior, you change yourself. Because the ego is just a story we tell ourselves, and we carry it around with ourselves. Better be a good story, and it better be a good thing we carry around, a useful ego. Gonna tap into the last four of the four corners, which is the spiritual intelligence. And so this one is a little difficult because we have most people associate religion with spirituality. And religion, as you know, if we look at the history of religion, I mean, wars, manipulation, it's a mess. Yeah. Like if we look at the history of humanity, it's part, like if we look at the horrors that have been done, it's a mess. And I think it comes often from the place that we're searching for an interpretation outside. We're looking for someone telling us the things from outside. And for me, spirituality is a completely personal relationship with the universe. It is my personal direct line to nature, to the origin, to God, whatever you want to name it. It's just a word that we're trying to put on the intelligence of life, the intelligence of nature, the intelligence of whatever is running this body at this moment. If you try to, are you, in a different way, are you aware of the trillions of cells and how they are operating at this moment in time? Can you control all those different cells, or can you even feel them individually? Can you control where the energy goes when you digest? Like who or what is taking care of all of that? And like science has brought in this nice way of explaining things in words without acknowledging the mystery and the magic behind all of these pieces. So these trillions of cells that we know about, without science we wouldn't even know about them. They are all operating and doing what they're supposed to do in every split second. And our awareness, our consciousness itself is just literally like very limited. Like I can now focus on my breathing and all those different things, but all these other layers are operating without me knowing or doing. And that's a miracle. That's incredible. That makes me being able to focus on other things and have like a life where I'm not just completely controlling and directing everything that needs to be taken care of in the body. And so there's a deep, deep, deep intelligence running these systems. And we can access this intelligence. And this was just my body. Think about the whole cosmos. Think about all of the trillions of atoms and all that is happening at this moment in and around you. And so that relationship, who are you in the universe? Who are you in this world? And who are you spiritually is a question you have to go into for yourself. And religion can be a marker for exploring that. But ultimately, no one can tell you what it is because no one can define it for sure. And religion was actually made for people to just feel relatable and connection with each other. Like a tribe had a religion. And that's why they had it. So they had common beliefs, common ways of explaining things that are difficult to understand without trying to interpret them. And then pieces of power came in trying to manipulate those religions, trying to control the mind and the beliefs of people through these processes. So if you're already deep into and you're like, I have my spiritual connection, amazing. Keep on exploring it. Be open to what it really means when you're exploring it inside. And for you who are saying, oh, this is all bullshit, the main thing you have to see in this is that people who believe in something higher than themselves fare more better in life than the ones who don't. So if you think like, oh, there is no God, there is no higher intelligence, I mean, yeah, okay, cool. Then, and you want to explain, well, what is science but the new religion? Science is the new religion. It's trying to explain everything, but it doesn't have everything. It's in its children's shoes still. And what is science but just explaining the higher intelligence of the universe? At least that's for me what I came out. And you can come to your own conclusions, but you can just go and say like, okay, uh, what does it mean for my life if I believe that I am part of something way bigger than myself? Or what if I believe that we're all just happened here to be by chance and there's no higher purpose and there's no higher ground and nothing really matters? Which one is going to make you feel and live a better life? So what is more useful or less useful? You can just find it for yourself and see what comes out with that. I've seen the ones who will feel and know they're part of something bigger than themselves, live better lives, have less depression, and really strive for something more than just their own ego. And that also brings us into a deeper service to each other and a reverence and gratitude for what we're experiencing in life. So these are the pieces all putting together for the 4 corners of intelligence for you to go into getting more clarity on what is happening in you. So you can focus on the things that you need to give attention to. So you can see like, wow, this area Daniel spoke about right now, I have no clue about. Maybe I should go and explore. Maybe I should go and map. What are my beliefs? What do I think about it? What do I feel about it? And then you can start working with those layers and you will advance and you will find deeper mastery in those 4 corners of intelligence. So this is one of the first ones that we see as the big problem for a lot of men and women out there. They haven't done the work to see the full picture of themselves, the wholeness of the human being. And this leads us then into places we don't want to be. So I'm going to wrap up here now. I gave you a lot of pieces. I hope you enjoyed the first episode. But before I let you go, I'm going to take the whole step-by-step guide that you can go into. First is go and get yourself a piece of paper or a Miro board. I like Miro board a lot because you can put pictures and other things inside and you have digital available anywhere, but anything that you like. You can also a journal, but you want to visualize the different areas in your life. And it's good to start with a brain dump. If your mind is constantly going on, is because your mind is designed to keep you remembering what is important. And if you don't outsource this to paper or a place where you know you wrote it down, it will every 20 minutes try to remind you about it. So a brain dump is a great place to start. Write down everything that you need to do, that you want to do, your goals, the pieces that you want to improve, and then start categorizing them into the different layers. For this, we have the Seoul map, which can guide you on that process as well. But brain dump, write it all down, start categorizing, start getting a picture. Next step from there is look at the 4 corners of intelligence and start asking yourself there, reflecting on how well are you connected to each of the 4 corners of intelligence. Look at the ways that you feel avoidant to one or the other layer. It's like, I don't want to feel my emotion. I don't want to connect to my spirituality. I don't want to take care of my body. Those layers, look at them, what it is that you're avoiding, because you're going to need them all. You're going to master life, and you're going to need them all to master it. So that's where you can just start with all of this here. And if you want, you can start writing your beliefs about those different corners of intelligence. The things are the ones that you see as positive and the ones that are negative. So you start seeing how your beliefs are shaping your reality around these 4 corners of intelligence. So I hope you're going to enjoy that. Hope you enjoyed the first episode. Next one, I'm going to be diving into partial success and something that we define as, and I define as true success. Looking forward to see you there and have a good one. Over and out.